Trust your instincts, intuition does not lie. The fourth color of the rainbow is blue, and for me, it stands for patience. You love yourself when acceptance falls in place. That is when you transform because of the faith you have. And for that, you need to have patience. Hi, my name is Rosie Bonita Fernandez, and I am your host and your founder of Being Beautiful. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce my speaker today, Rumpa Mitra, who is going to talk to us about why having a purpose to your life while you trust your gut and you need to have patience. So, Rumpa is a blogger. She's an aspiring hiker and also a full time working professional, along with being a mother. She has a very wonderful son, and Rumpa believes that life is beautiful and it does not come with manuals. At times, it takes you to great heights, and sometimes you have to go through lows. And at these times, we complain mostly, don't we? I think we all do. But at times of downfall, we can actually make the most out of it. It can make you or break you. The choice lies in our hands. So, Rumpa, welcome to Voice Out.
You very much, Bonita, that you have considered myself in your platform. And thanks all of you who has taken out their time from their busy schedule and joined us live. It means a lot to me.
Okay, so Rumpa, I'm sure you must have seen my first few episodes. So this is my absolute favorite question, and I think you know about it. Why did you agree to a voice out?
Yes, I have seen your page. I am following you from the beginning. Though I have not participated in all the group discussion, but still I am silently following you. Voice out why I have chosen you. Because the problem which I have gone through past few years, I believe it's a very common problem for every household right now. And during this lockdown and the pandemic, after the pandemic or during this pandemic, it is increasing stress to every household. It's none other like job insecurities. We all are going through this, and few years back, I have also faced the consequences of this. And how I have faced and how I have dealt with it. If sharing my experience gives a single person motivation, then I choose to voice out. And knowing you very closely, I know that you have put your heart and soul for this page. And that's how I am here.
Thank you, Rumpa. That's really, really kind of to say that. And yes, by the way, Rumpa and me are also colleagues. I mean, ex-colleagues. We work together here in Oman, and that's how I know her. And I always called her this, Bengali beauty because that is what she is. And I used to always make fun of her age, but she proved that age is just a number. Okay. Rumpa, what is you just said that you're following my page and your I mean you keep I know that you follow my page and you view my stories as well. So what is beautiful according to you? What comes to your mind when you hear the word beautiful?
One word, life. Life is completely beautiful if we see it in a right way. It twists and turns without any notification, but at the same point of time, it gives you a chance to be the better you. During that process of twisting and turning, you can actually filter and enhance your abilities, which is given within you by God, or that power is there. Just we need to understand, and then we have to enhance it. And during this process, when you found yourself, the real you is beautiful. And your page being beautiful is actually doing the same, like it puts the same thought of mine. And that's how I feel so connected to it. And I really go through every article of yours, whatever you write, and it's so positive. You're spreading a lot of positive messages, which is good.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Rumpa, now, the main reason why I decided to launch something like Voice Out is because I personally feel it is very important, to express, to inspire. You never know through whom or which person you could be inspiring, because sometimes we see a lot of motivational videos on YouTube, or we hear someone else speaking. We have a lot of screenshots of quotes in our phone, and we post it when we go through something particular. So these are the things which inspire people. We can relate to them. We can like, for example, if I'm going through something and suddenly you when you're on your phone, you suddenly come up with a post and you can relate to it. You're like, how the hell did this come up? This is something which I'm actually going through. So, and I myself, when I was going through my journey, I myself was seeing these videos, and I uh, read a lot of self-help books. I seen videos, and that's how I got motivated and I got inspired. So I thought, why not get that kind of platform and let people come, see, hear us talk. Hear my all my speakers so far have been, like, very motivational. I've got very good feedback for all of them. And which is why I thought it is very, important to bring this kind of platform where you don't have to go through any filters. I mean, if you have any kind of story, if everybody has a story, by the way, so and you think that you are ready to express your journey or your story, I mean, that is why I chose you, because I knew that you are somebody who is exceptionally inspirational.
I'm not sure about whether if I'm an inspirational person or not, but yes, as I said, that if I can motivate one person, that is enough for me. That is, if I can help by saying, by speaking out something about me, help somebody to look forward for their life, find some positivity, this is how I can help. Maybe I cannot help in any other ways, but by speaking my experiences, if somebody gets through some problem, why not?
Yes, I think we as humans and individuals, we always tend to do something like that. We, want to reach out and help out to as many as, and especially in this pandemic, because a lot of them are going through some amount of stress, maybe through their relationships, with their jobs, financially, emotionally, in different ways, and probably somebody somewhere can get inspired by. Watching you, me, or any one of my speakers. So, Rumpa, coming back to my questions, can you throw some light of any one of your challenges that life has put you through, and how did you overcome them? Because you're also a mother of a child, so I think a lot of them are going to relate to this.
Yes, as I told that as a family, we faced a problem related to job. I am here in Oman for last 13 years from 2008. So I stayed with my family from 2008 till 2017. And all of a sudden, we came to a situation where we were not prepared and we had to make a decision that we have to immediately go back to India. Going back to India is not a problem, but the thing is that we were not prepared. We were not speculated that something is coming up like this. Our life was going well here. Everything was fine. And suddenly we have to go back. And it was not planned. Nothing was in line. So that came as a real challenge to all of us, not only me, to my husband, to my 8-year son. He was that time 8 years or 7.5 years, something like that. So then we thought, because we had no other choice, so we cannot think. So we were in the process of moving out from Oman and making our adjustment to go to India. But in the same time, I was not actually convinced that I am not doing anything out of this situation. And also I was getting some indications of getting new job, as all of a sudden,
Rumpa, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
sorry, yeah. So all of a sudden, like, especially I don't know about others, but I have not seen people or female like me who has a small child, they stay back or something like that. I was getting job opportunities, and the same point of time, I know that the opportunity is only for me. It's not about career, it was about helping the family right that moment. So, but I was for some time, I was in dilemma that what I am supposed to do, but I was giving a real thought that I should take up this job and think about it. And maybe this is a comeback. This could be a comeback situation for all of us. Maybe this will change our family's fate or our family's time in the right direction. So, but then when I spoke to few of my friends, relatives, and colleagues at that time, everybody was everybody was giving me a solution which is not the way I was thinking. They were all telling that no, your husband is going back, your son is going back, and especially your son is very small, so you also have to go back and settle down there. Yeah, I don't mind going back and settling down there, but I don't know what is lying there. Whereas I was getting an opportunity here which can make my family's life better. Yes, for that I have to struggle here alone. They have to struggle here alone. But then I was finding some positivity in my thought process. And I thought a lot. And then, anyway, I got the job, but then I had to exit from the company, exit from the country, which I did along with my family. And then I got my visa done. The company sent, everybody is mostly from Oman, so everybody knows how is the process. So they sent me the visa, and that was the final moment when I had to take a call that yes, I'm doing this. So finally I took that decision and I came back, leaving my family there in India, and my son was really small by that time. He was only 8 years old. It was difficult, but then I spoke to him. I made him understand. I think he was more mature than me. He has shown more maturity than any of us. And that's how I came back here all alone. Coming back, that was a decision which I had taken, but coming back and then staying in the same country where I have stayed with my family all the time with my child has every corner memories, every corner, wherever I go, starting from a grocery center to a shopping mall, to house, to crossing the old building, everywhere I have memory. It was mentally challenging for me. I'm not talking about any other challenges. I had faced a lot of other challenges. People criticized me. People questioned my motherhood. People questioned my marriage. People asked me various things, that why I'm here, why I'm so desperate to be here in this country. But then I just kept quiet, and I was focused on my goal that I have to do this, and maybe somewhere I was having a hope that one day the result will be as per my choice. The result I was looking forward for is that I wanted my husband and my son to come back here in Oman again, and we live as a family exactly the way we were doing. That was only goal of mine, and I'm really happy to share that today, this year, even during this pandemic and all these things, we could make through. My son joined me 2018. I could got his visa done, and I was with him, like he came back to me. And then now my husband is also back for his good. He joined his company, he's doing good, and we all are back to the same stage where we were. So that's how this last 4 years is.
Yeah, I mean, okay, now what I seen you few years back, I do understand, you came here. In fact, I also questioned you at that time. I'm like, why did you choose to stay alone in a country where you barely know people, you just know few friends, and you have left your son and your husband back then. As a woman, we have to, we are always put under a scanner. We are always question our choices. Why did you do this? Oh, he's your son. Oh, that's more important. I'm sure you must have been called a lot of mean things as well, that, oh, she's living there in that country far, and what, who knows that what she's doing and stuff like that. I'm sure you must have gone through those kind of questions, because whenever a woman makes a choice, it is always questioned, that why, for what. uh, Nobody will question that. I'm not putting any men down here, but it's only that, if a man chooses to leave his wife and child and go and work abroad, he's not really questioned. But if a wife does it, I mean, sorry, if a woman does it, then obviously there are questions. And plus, you also had a son, so it must be really difficult for you to leave him and come. How did you manage to do that? I know it.
See, my family, everybody was okay. Starting from my in-laws, they were really supporting all this time. They genuinely love me. My husband is very matured, and he never forces me or takes any decision on behalf of me. The only concern was my son, because he was very small, but I don't know how, but he has actually shown a lot of maturity that time. And I can't explain that. Yes, but yes, outsiders, few people have definitely given me a really good time. I had to explain. Initially, I was explaining. But then at certain point of time, I understood that this explanation, I don't need to explain anybody, because I know what I am doing, and I am convinced about that what I am doing. There is nothing I am feeling that wrong from inside me. So if I think that I'm not doing anything wrong, so why do I have to explain some people who doesn't even they are not here. But yes, also at the same point of time, I was blessed with few people here and from India, those who have probably not was convinced with my thought process. They were not probably okay with my decision, but then still they chose to trust me, trust my process, and they were there. Always they were there. So whenever I needed, they were there. So that was a big support. But there were few also there who actually given me a big time, but then I think I have proved them back.
Yeah, so in this, what I have understood is, you trusted your gut, you trusted your intuition, and you also showed patience at that time. We don't usually, whenever we have to take a decision, we tend to get influenced by a lot of people around. And I think that because because of you trusting your gut and showing patience, today you have those results in your hand. Sometimes God does not move as per your plan. It is his plan, and he will give it to you in his timings. All you need to do is have patience, and at the same time
Very true.
trust your gut as well. So moving to my next question, I think you've almost answered this, but why is it important, why is it very important for us to choose our gut feeling, like not listen to maybe anybody for that matter. One is your gut, and one is the others what fall in the category. Why is it important to do that?
Bonita, for me, I can answer, like, I don't think, knowing me now, I'm at age of 42. Knowing me, I think my logical side of brain doesn't work much, but my emotional side of brain works always very stronger. And I have seen in my life through different situations, every time, any situation, whatever my instinct says, and if I follow that, I have reached to what I want to get as a result. And this was a real challenge to me because this came to my family. It was not me, it was all of us. It was my son, it was my husband. And I also believe that every problem is unique. So my problem, maybe the problem is same type of problem I am going through or you are going through, but my situation cannot be same exactly like yours. Also, the solution is also not the same. My thought process is saying God has given me some capabilities to analyze my situation and coming out to some solution. And I have to believe that instinct, that process. So not necessarily the way I have solved my problem will exactly be yours solution, but you also have the capability of analyzing your problem and coming out to your solution. My point is here, I'm not trying to say what solution I have taken is the solution for your problem, but what I'm trying to say is that the process, maybe you also have it.
Just a moment. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe when you are in some challenges, you are getting some indications from within you, and you have to trust that. You have to believe in yourself first. Others are there to show you, to guide you, to give you options, suggestions. When I was choosing my path, I went and knocked every person I know, from my professional life, from my relatives, from my friends, everyone. I ask everyone, see, this is the problem, and I'm thinking to do this, and they all have given their opinion. I heard everything, but then I have filtered and I understood which actually suits me, which one is for me, and also my instinct was saying which one is for me. And it is always not a man's responsibility to take care of the family when I am capable and an opportunity is coming to take care of that situation. Why I will not stand for my family? I don't want it to regret later by not taking the step that point of time. Rather, I would take the step, and even if I fail, I know that it's fine. I have put my effort and then I failed. It's okay. That is a different scenario. But if I don't take the step, I will like rest of my life, I'm going to regret, which is I'm not ready for.
Yeah. I think, we as humans need to take that chance, take that step. If there is any fears, the only way to overcome any fear is to face it. I always say that that's like my mantra. And if you have any fears in your life that, something bad is going to happen, then something bad is definitely going to happen. But if you are going to face the fear with a positive attitude, saying that, what if it works? We always say no, when somebody wants to start a business or somebody wants to get married or somebody wants to have a baby or anything, even for that matter, a relationship, first thought normally is like, what if it doesn't work? What if my business fails? What if this job is not for me? What if this is not the right relationship? But what if this is the job for you? What if this is the husband or wife for you? What if this business is going to take you to another height? So you keep juggling throughout your life, and everybody has an inner voice. I think you need to hear that inner voice. You have to listen to your gut. I don't know in which other way I can say it, but listening to your gut is so important. like for example, in my one of my episodes, one of the participants questioned about a tarot reading, you know, like for example, I have got, like, she's gone to a tarot reader, and the tarot reader said something negative about her, some area about her life. Now, but her gut said something else. Her gut said, no, it is going to work, you don't have to believe. A tarot reader is not god. Okay, and your gut is basically your guardian angel who's guiding you through a path which you would probably is for you. So that even Ritika, my speaker, had said that, if a tarot reader is saying something, but your gut is telling you something else, please go by your gut. I don't think any tarot reader would actually say that. You also need guts to say that as well. So it is very important for everybody to choose your gut, your instinct, your intuition, and have a lot of patience when you see that your life is unfolding.
Sure.
So talking about unfolding, why is it important to have patience? Because I have seen the amount of patience you were, uh, having or holding on to when you had no idea what is next. You just didn't know what is going to happen next, but you showed patience. It's not that you were positive every day. Technically, it's not positive. It is not possible to be positive every day. You have your low days, you have your high days. I mean, we always say stay positive, but I also know that it's not possible to stay positive every day. So how did you have patience when you just didn't know that what is happening next?
Bonita, I will answer this with, I just saw today, I don't know if anybody follows him, Gaur Das, I follow him on Instagram. He has also quoted today, like he has put a shairi. I believe everybody understand a little bit of Hindi here.
Yeah.
So that it's not he's saying, it's some Mirza Ghalib's shairi, and he said, इत्मीनान तो रख गुजर जाएगा ये दौर भी, खुशी नहीं रही तो गम का क्या औकात. So it says like the process wherever you are right now will pass. If happy days are not staying with you right now, then the sad days will also go, and again it's a cycle, it will come back. So we just have to keep patience. So I don't know how to say this, but then there were days when I have gone through my lows. I have cried, and there is nothing wrong crying or nothing. It's a cleansing process of your body, taking out your negative emotion through your tears. This is what I believe. If you are feeling low, my process is crying out. If you have any process, just follow that. You don't have to swim against the river flow. Just take that flow. If you are feeling like crying, cry. But most important is that after the cry, whether you are standing out, standing again, and you are determined to walk in the same path which you have already decided for you, that is important. You cannot stay, you said all exactly the same thing. You cannot stay every day positive, because you don't know what is tomorrow bringing you, which difficulty, how a person will talk to you, where it will hit, whether it will be, you will be able to cope up with that. If some other problems, so many problems are there. So small things also, daily life we face. Going out for an office and your car broke down, this happened, that happened, so many things happens. So but then you already have a bigger challenge in your life, and also all the small things are there. So breaking down is not something which is somebody has to feel bad about it. We all break down, nobody is perfect, but then after the breakdown, are we standing again? That is important. So for me, every time I have broken down, I know what I have to do. I have thought about it. It was a continuous process. Initially, when I came back, I have broken down so many times, and then I have cried probably in front of you. Then I have few good friends. I have gone to them. I have cried and spoken about them. They have been always a good support for me. They have motivated me for that time. But then I understood this is not the process I cannot follow, because I don't know how much time the result which I am looking for going to take. So I have to find out something which is going to help me, and I'm going to be self-helping myself. I don't have to depend on X, Y, Z. So that's how I started thinking, and then I think I found something which which helped me in my spending this all 4 years.
4 years, yeah, true. I think we all, I tell most of my friends as well that we need to find a purpose in our life. Uh, when you find a purpose in your life, you stop getting bored. And very recently, I was having a conversation with one of my speakers who is going to be on the 29th, or the last speaker. So the topic of that conversation was loneliness. How do we deal with loneliness? And she told me something which actually hit me at that moment. She said that you will never feel lonely if you enjoy your own company. People say that I'm feeling lonely. I can't. There are so many things, and especially in this pandemic, I cannot deal with this. I'm always alone and things like that. So when she actually told me this, that Bonita, if you love your company and if you love yourself enough, you will never feel lonely. Like, if you're just sitting in the room watching some movie, and you're probably having a coffee or you're having a drink or whatsoever it could be, it's not necessary that you have to be around people. You can enjoy your own company. You can and when you do that, you do a lot of soul reflecting. You reflect on your life. You tend to think about see, there are some people who are overthinkers as well. So I think I mean, when I had spoken to my therapist about overthinking, she said, you're not an overthinker, you are a problem solver. You want to find this problem. I mean, you want to solve that problem. That is the reason you keep thinking about it. So when she told these two things, when I heard, I thought this is what you had done in your life, because you started enjoying your company. You found a purpose. You found a purpose where you you will not get bored. You will not depend on somebody else, and you just knew what to do. You was looking forward to that. So I know what is your purpose. You happened to find it few years back. So my next question to that to you is about your purpose. Like you said that you found hiking in Oman as one of your, I mean, your purpose, and otherwise it's purpose is also known as your passion, by the way. They say live your passion, do what you're passionate about, but I say purpose is because we all are born in this world, and God has given us a purpose for living. You just need to find it. So how how did you relate, I mean, how can you relate hiking, and like what difference did it make to you, and how did you find
So,
hiking as your purpose?
so connecting from my previous answer. So when I was feeling down every time in the beginning, like when I came recent, like 2017, and I was finding it very difficult emotionally to cope up with. So every now and then I used to break down, and then I needed somebody to listen to me, or, pat me and tell me, no, it's going to be fine and all these things. Few months went like that, but then I realized that uh, this is not going to happen for longer run. I have to find out something which keep me going in this whole process, and I have to stay positive. I cannot fail here, because I have put a lot of thing in this. I've gone against so many people. I have followed my instinct, and also I wanted to win for my family. It's not only me, it's for my son. I every day used to call him, and then we don't cry, but then we know each other that we are missing and all these things. So I have to find out something which makes me energetic, keeps me energetic, positive, and then if I stay positive, I know things will fall in place. I was again having that instinct. So I keep on thinking about it and knowing myself. I'm a very outdoor person. I like to be outdoor all the time. And from childhood, I think I wanted to always hike and trek. My father took me a few times when I was a child, and I always enjoyed that. And when we came to Oman, uh, 10 years I stayed here. I did not explore any hiking, any trek or anything, but still I was aware that here it's a place where I can do a lot of things. I used to see people doing hiking and all that. So I thought I should give a try. So by that time I was 38 years of age, and then I have not been to gym or exercise or anything, never done anything. I was so unfit, but I was thinking that I should try. Then, without giving a much thought about it, when I understood that yes, this is what I want to do, and I will at least give a try, and I have just registered in one hiking company, and they were taking somewhere, uh, and I've registered with them, and that's how I started. And since then, every weekend I'm in the mountain. I don't prefer even going to malls nowadays. I don't like if somebody asks me to go out somewhere in my hiking days. I feel like, oh my god, I cannot go to the mountain. That is so difficult for me, because when I went there and how it connects with me, like the mountain, the nature. When I go there, I'm all alone, and I can speak to myself. I can clear out my all doubts there. That's how it helped me. I was questioning myself. Okay.
Moment.
So I think it was there within me, and then I had to take the first step, which I took, and in 2017, and then since then it is just going on, and I am following my passion, and it really helped me to go through this all 4 years. It is the one which actually helped me, nothing else.
Nice, very nice. Because I think many of us still don't know, and you found your purpose, or rather, I say passion, at the age of 38. So it's not that, when you get a little older, by the way, I'm not trying to say that you're old, but once you're 30, and if you want to try something new, or you want to change your career, you change your, you want to do something which you've not done before, because that's your calling. I think you should do it. I think people should follow your gut, do it. You will love it. Like even me, for that matter, it took me so many years to do what I'm doing right now. And I know a lot of people. It's not that once you're 30, you're married, you have a son. Some people will like, Arey, abhi kya karna hai na? I don't want to do this. I'm married. Who looks at me? Or why do I have to do this? I think that's all. I would term it as nonsense. I think you can find your purpose whether you're 15 or you're 50.
True.
As far as you find your purpose and you're living a life with your purpose, you will never feel you're doing something which is not making you happy. Always do what makes you happy. I also say that. So it is, and I think you did what made you happy. And
Now, how it helped me?
Yes.
How it helped me, because every weekend probably we were going for some small hike or something. It is always at the age of 38 when I have started. It is a difficult stage for me, because when I am going, they're all young, they are all into it, and I have to keep the speed with them, and this is a challenge. When maybe they're 2-3 hours or 4 hours with that group, I have to be at their space, at everything. I have to be along with them, and that is also a small challenge, going top to that mountain.
Yes.
And the moment I used to reach, I used to feel, okay, I can do this. So if I can do this, the main purpose is in my life was the one which I was already having it. So if I can do this, I can do that also. So this is how it used to motivate me. So this is a small challenge. Every weekend I used to appreciate, or whenever I used to overcome, I used to finish the trek sometime, and in the initial time I'm telling, so people used to appreciate, your group leader used to appreciate you, so you used to feel, oh great, like I can do this. It was like a certificate coming to me, award to me, good words coming to me, which keeps me motivated, keeps me happy. And the next few days I'm in the work, I used to feel happy. And then again, I know, okay, I'll do another hiking, and then I'll overcome some challenges. And that's how it was very important for me. I find out a process which keeps me happy every week, so that I can go through every weekdays again the same life.
Very nice. Well, see, like, I have seen you when you were not hiking. And now that I'm seeing you doing this, because I know that you are in much better place, especially in your mental health wise. You have grown so much as a human, I mean, as a person, and it is really nice to see somebody grow when mentally. Physically, we all grow, but mentally, we don't. At some point of time, our mind just shuts down. And being beautiful is also about mental health. I do share my coping mechanisms, or the coping mechanisms which I also spoke about it in my last episode, where my speaker spoke about her coping mechanism. So how did you relate hiking? I mean, how did it affect your mental health? What was the effect when you were doing your hiking, and how did it help you to overcome it?
See, we all know that weekdays are stressful. I already said that weekdays are stressful, and then every day it is all same. In my life was already going through some challenges, and I was all alone here. So I used to look forward for the weekend to meet some new people, where these people don't know my background, where I'm coming from, whether my husband is here, whether I'm a mother to a 8-year boy or not. What the objective of being there was, this is the mountain, we all have to hike, we all have to reach, and there is a goal. And I used to go there, and only we used to talk about all these things. I was learning some technique, I was meeting new people. In that process, I was meeting so many people, and we spoke. And so many people have so many other problems, which is bigger than me, which also used to motivates me, that if this person having this big problem than me or anybody else can smile, can live their life, why I can't? This is one way. Another thing is that I think I'm a very nature person. I love to be in the nature. The moment I reach within the nature, it's okay, I don't know how to explain it scientifically, but I feel that I can talk to the mountain, I can talk to the trees, plants, and all the vibes used to help me to overcome my challenges. It's where I feel I find myself the most. The moment I feel low, I think if I hike, I will come back after the hiking with all the positivities. Because when I'm walking, when I'm climbing up the mountain, I am just taking out all my negative stress and filling up with fresh oxygen. And that's how it kept going on, kept going on. And now this is no more passion for me. I think this is one which I know you are always talking about different therapies. I think this is one therapy which I have found out for myself, where I don't need to depend on any person or anybody else. And I know what is my therapy and how I have to keep myself positive, even if any challenges come.
Yeah, I think life doesn't stop throwing challenges at you. It will throw challenges every day. We just learn to deal with after acceptance. We just learn to deal with how to face with it. Unlike, like even depression for that matter, depression just does not go. First of all, depression is something, if you're depressed, it will not go immediately. You might feel better in 1 2 days, but again after few days you're going to feel that. I think you just learn to overcome that phase, that moment, and you use a lot of affirmations, and you use, you connect to your higher self, you connect to the divine, the universe, to God, and you learn a lot of things when you do that. Is only because you have learned and you have accepted that this is how I'm going to be, this is my mental health state, and I have learned how to deal with it. Okay, I'm done with my questions. So I would like to ask all our participants, if anybody has any of their questions, they can put on their mics now, they can put on their cameras, and you can ask Rumpa anything that you all would wish to know. Let me see who wants to ask what. Or maybe we can ask your son, because I know your son is online. Uh, so if he can put on his camera and say something about his mother, it would be really great. I know we didn't decide about this earlier, but I just thought we'll do it because it will be really nice if
Yeah,
he says.
I think that's a great idea. I think his nickname is Ricky. Ricky, you should
Ricky,
come
please put on
online.
your camera and
Hello.
hi Ricky, can we see you? I think your camera needs to be on. One second. Okay, Ricky, you just need to turn your, the phone. So what would you like to say to your mummy, which you otherwise don't say? And tell us how, I know you're very young, and thank you so much for participating in Voice Out. I hope you understood a few things. So can you say something?
She's the best.
Sorry, she's the
Best. She takes me to hikes with her.
Yeah, one more thing. By the way, Rumpa also takes her son at whenever time possible to hike with her, and that is really great. I've seen pictures where both of you all are hiking. I mean, that's something really
Yes.
nice.
And she's really fun.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Actually, you're not really clear.
And she's super fun.
It's super fun. Thank you so much, Ricky, for putting your camera on and saying something to your mom. Before we end this, Rumpa, I played your favorite song. I
I
forgot
think
the name.
Sangeeta wants to ask something.
Yes, please. I'm sorry. Sangeeta, you can.
Yeah, I'll not put the video because
That's
I was
fine.
not ready to come to the video.
That's
So
fine.
one thing I always see is in the normally in the South Asian women, especially India and Sri Lanka. So I'm from Sri Lanka. So what we may basically the mothers or the we may maybe if we pass 30. We don't look after ourselves, or we don't give priority to our mental health or anything. So what made you to change that? Even I was an avid hiker when I was in Sri Lanka. After came to Middle East, I couldn't do much. But given time, anytime I like to go out, I like to go run or cycle or anything. But I have seen many people not doing that, honestly. So what is the turning point for you?
Sangeeta, thank you for asking me this question. This is very important question I think you have asked. Forgetting yourself is not something that you are doing for your family. This is, I completely believe. You have to have your own individuality. Your son or your daughter, your family members should identify you the way you are. You have to put up that thing. compromises we all have to do. Being in a family, we all have to sacrifice. We all do that. But for doing that, nobody said that you have to forget yourself. If you have a passion and you can stand out with that, even if you don't stand out, you are just doing it for yourself and it's making you happy, then what is the crime one is doing? This is very important, because the moment you stand as a strong person, your child recognize you, that your personality stands out. And what the first thing a child see inside the house as a model character, their parents. So if I am not giving a strong personality, I'm not standing in front of him as a strong person, then I don't think I'm a right mother. So loving myself or looking or encouraging my own passion, I don't think doesn't have any connection, which makes me feel that I'm not putting effort for my family, not doing the responsibilities towards my family or for my son. This way, I don't think. So for me, this is my understanding. This is my opinion. I don't know how others think, but this is what I think.
Thank you, Rumpa. Sangeeta, I hope she's answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much. And honestly, the first question you asked, what is beautiful? So this is what I think it is beautiful. How you realize yourself and how you keep your mental health and physical health tied. And also how you become an example for your inner circle, at least.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's a good session and I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Okay, so before we wrap up, Rumpa, I played a very famous song, Tujhse Nahi Naraz Zindagi. I want you to sing that for us.
Oh,
because you are a wonderful singer. I know I didn't tell you this before, but I just wanted to, I didn't want you to be prepared for it. So can you just sing maybe 1 or 2 lines from that? Because that song really means a lot. I mean, if you hear the lyrics properly, it's a beautiful song. So can you just sing a little bit for us?
I will not be a spoil sport and I will sing, but I'm sure I don't know how others will.
That's fine. I know that you sing well, so.
No. Okay. जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ हैरान हूँ तेरे मासूम सवालों पे परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं जीने के लिए सोचा ही नहीं, दर्द संभालने होंगे, मुस्कुराओ तो आज अगर कर्ज उतारने होंगे, मुस्कुराओ कभी तो लगता है जैसे सीने पे दर्द रखा है. Okay,
thank you so much, and you are such a sport. Like, trust me, I in fact I didn't plan this. It was very spontaneous. I just wanted you to, sing, and it was really wonderful. Okay, so Rumpa, thank you so much for being on the show today. I would like you to close us with whatever is in your heart, mind, and once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonita, and thank you everyone for participating. I really enjoyed this platform and I wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much, guys. And I'll be uploading this this episode, like all my other episodes, on YouTube in a couple of days. And I have 2 more episodes left. One is on the 22nd, and the one on the 22nd is a male speaker. His name is Rajit, who is going to speak about anxiety and depression. So please do watch, because he's the only male speaker in this entire season. So please stay safe, stay beautiful, and do not forget to wear your mask. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Take care and good night.